Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again in this YouTube astrological segment. I'm going to be talking about transit Mars conjunct one's natal Pluto. Now, when we're talking about transits of Mars in astrology, they can be about action, motivation, energy, enthusiasm, even exuberance. Now, when we're talking about the transit of Mars conjoining your natal Pluto, well, this could be a lot of action and initiative, motivation, energy, and enthusiasm in making a major change or transformation. If this falls in the 12th house, it could be a transformation that's spiritual. Um, it might be in the fourth house, it could be your home life, it could be a major renovation or a move. Also, Pluto is connected with rebirth, regeneration, and it's something, rebirth and regeneration, I should say. And again, going back to the 12th house, it could be a spiritual rebirth or some kind of regeneration. Say if it falls in your 10th house in your natal chart, it could be one pertaining to one's career. Say if it's in Scorpio, as an example, it could be one that might be connected. Maybe working in a career in forensics, detective work, investigation, working as a coroner, mortician, um, somebody that might be detective or investigator, the occult, which can include astrology, and also more about it could be about having more courage in matters connected with a crisis, taking action on matters pertaining to one. If it's something that you procrastinated on or hesitated on for some time, and something that you had to deal with, um, it may be a time where you might you really feel you either have no choice, or it's the time where the courage is there to actually deal with it. If it's in the second house, for example, it could be a monetary crisis. Sixth house, it might be one that might be a more of a health related issue. Uh, and also, Pluto, of course, is associated with death. It doesn't necessarily mean there's going to be something literal as far as the death goes, but this could be taking more action and being more motivated to put something to a figurative death. If it's something in, say, it's in the seventh house, it could be a legal situation, or maybe it's a situation with an open adversary that may come to an end that you decide, through legal means. As an example, especially if it's in Libra in the seventh house, it could very well be through some kind of legal measure that maybe this is the time where you actually had the initiative to, you took more initiative to do something about this. And also, Pluto is connected with shared resources as well. And if you're in a situation, shared resources situation, it might be a time where you might have more activity in connection with it. If you hadn't been doing your fair share, whether it might be a business connection or you're in a situation with a significant other, this could be a time where you might actually have the more get up and go, have more motivation, more incentive to do something with this, and basically, put more energy into it. Now, also too, Pluto is about power and control as well, and it's about a time where you might really, it could be about just simply having more courage to get more power and control in your life. And depending on what house this falls in, it'll be could likely be in that area of one's life. If it's in the fourth house, it could be a home related situation. um, the second house, it could be more of a monetary situation, having the courage maybe to gain more control of your own, having your own finances, monetary situation, possessions, and your own resources at this time, especially if you've been more dependent on others, more so than usual. So, anyway, also keep in mind Pluto is associated with insurance, taxes, credit, which can include, I would say, credit cards. So this could be a time where you might find yourself wanting to be more independent in these matters. If it's been a time where you've been more dependent and other people have assisted you in any of the things I just mentioned, this could be a time where you want to deal more by being more independent and self-reliant in those matters, or you might simply You say if it's a credit card situation, and other people may have been using it, friend or family member, you might be a little bit more agitated at this time if somebody is actually using it and wanting to hold on to it yourself, because Mars, of course, is the planet connected with anger. It could be about agitation and being exasperated. Now, also, Pluto is associated with vengeance as well, so it's a time to be more careful, more prudent. If the few of you out there that see this and might, be somewhat vengeful or vindictive, remember you're having the planet of anger contacting the planet connected with vengeance and vindictiveness. So just be very careful at this time if you're having this transit, that it doesn't manifest in you taking action and trying to exact some kind of revenge on somebody, and maybe perhaps in a violent manner, which could get you into trouble. Now, anatomically speaking, Pluto is connected with the colon, the prostate, and the bladder, the reproductive system, and sex organs. Now, especially say if this falls in the first or the sixth house in your natal chart. The first house is connected with the physical body, of course. The sixth house is associated with health-related matters, physical debilitations and issues. So if you're having this transit of Mars contacting your natal Pluto, and you've had any issues with what I just described anatomically, that can be something that you may decide to take care of at this time, especially if you've been procrastinating or hesitated on these issues for some time. Mars is the planet of action. It's about initiative and enterprise, and this could be the time we might actually do something about this more so than usual. And also, too, Pluto is also a planet connected with manipulation, so it's important at this time to not really not to take action as far as manipulating people, because it could give a little more of a propensity toward that. But it could also be a time you might be more agitated at somebody that's being manipulative. Say if this is in the fifth house, it could be a lover or some romantic partner. You've been involved in maybe a superficial fling. So anyway. Now, remember that another way this could manifest, this transit, it could be about taking more initiative in enterprise, and even being more impatient with a major change in your life, or some transformation, or even a sexual relationship you may be involved in. And this is a time where if it's something hasn't been going the way you wanted to, and there's been some hesitation with this could be the time where you put more force into this and try to get things going. Or it could simply be a time where you might take more action and initiative in one of those things I just described. If it is making a major transformation, say if it's in your sixth house, it might be a health related one, or some sexual, or it could be a sexual relationship, whether you want it to actually escalate and go further, or it could be something where you might want to put it to a figurative end at this time. So anyway, and let's say if this is in Libra, for example, it could be about, you might be a little bit impatient over something that you don't think is equitable in a shared resources situation, such as a business connection or somebody that you're in an intimate relationship with. Could also be a time we may simply have more courage at this time, more so than usual, to deal with a figurative end to something, which of course is really, or I should say, I'm sorry, with more courage to deal. It could be with a crisis, again, a figurative ending, to obliterate something in your life. And let's say if this falls in Scorpio in the second house as an example, it could be trying to end, which is Pluto, maybe a compulsive, which is Scorpio, maybe accumulation of possessions, which is the second house. And even if this falls in the fourth house, it might apply in some cases, because remember, hoarding is often involved with the home. The fourth house is connected with the home, and also the fourth house in astrology could be associated with clinging as well, because the fourth house does correspond with the zodiac sign Cancer. Now, another thing too is you might find yourself being more outspoken about matters connected with jealousy or manipulation or even obsession or fixation. Whether it's you exhibiting those qualities, or it could be somebody else that you know that's prominent in your life scheme that might be exhibiting that energy and those characteristics, those qualities right now, such as, say, if it's in the fifth house, it could be an obsessive or fixated lover, or the eighth house could be someone you know in a very deep connection. Uh, Also, to remember that Mars is connected with our vitality and energy, so it might be a time too where, I mean, I think this could go either way in terms of your energy. It might empower your energy a little bit more and give more power to it at this time, since it's hitting Pluto, the planet of power. Or sometimes you might feel that your energy and your vitality might be nearly obliterated or destroyed. And I would say a lot of this could be predicated and dependent on aspects that it makes the points in your chart at the time of the transit. Say a sextile or trine to your natal Jupiter, it might be more auspicious for energy. But say if it's an adverse aspect to your natal Saturn, it might go the other way, and you might experience a loss in that, and your energy might feel very diminished at this time. Now, uh, keep in mind too, this could also manifest in accidents that might be very destructive. Be very careful. You're working, something that could potentially be very hazardous, like if you're in those, I don't know what it's called exactly. It's that machine that like rolls the dough, and be careful. Your arm, could get greater chance of your arm maybe getting caught in it, or some accident like with a baler, for example. In remote cases, this could also manifest in surgery, which Mars is connected with surgery on something Pluto related, which could be the bladder, it could be colon, the prostate, the pelvic region, or it could also manifest in Pluto, which Pluto is about, could be deep. It could be a deep cut or wound, which is Mars. Now, say if this falls in Virgo, for example, it could be maybe one on a ruptured spleen, something with the pancreas maybe, or even the abdomen, or some kind of intestinal issues or bleeding at this time. And also, too, be careful about going back to anger being associated with vengeance or jealousy at this time. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, people, Edwin Learnard saying, stay well.